let's not be the stereotype cliches that we always are.
Right. Well,
But
I'll start then. Well, welcome back to another episode of Tell Me Where I'm Going Wrong, a podcast where two exes who are still really good friends talk about politics, travel, life, health, pop culture, and so many other interesting, fascinating topics. I'm Sean. I'm one of the hosts, and the other host is named Josh, and that's Josh over there. How are you, Josh?
thank you for naming me in case I forgot my own name. And the other thing that we always talk about is the weather, Sue.
Well, I was just saying that yesterday was so absolutely
Oh my
vile.
God.
It was
Yeah.
like the fucking...
Yesterday was the day of eternal dusk. Like, it just fell.
It felt like
so
living in
gloomy.
one of those Alaskan towns where it is like the sun goes down for 6
The
months.
sun doesn't appear above the horizon for like
But
3 months
today
of the
there's
year.
like a blue sky,
Mhm.
and it's quite pretty, but
It's-
the sun is so low on the horizon.
I haven't even been outside yet, so I've got no idea. Like, is it actually the heating's cranked up? It's only 6 degrees outside, so yeah. It's
Well,
very deceptive to be indoors in the warm with the sun shining. But
we don't currently have our heating on. We had it on a little bit overnight. We're trying to save money. I mean, it's just so outrageous.
Don't you crank it up in the morning, like when you wake up, though?
Crank yankers. Well, no, Hill wouldn't let me. He got up and he turned it off. But I think it makes a difference psychologically when there's blue sky and you can see sunshine. You
Yeah,
kind of think, oh, well, it's not that bad. And so
yeah,
it's easier for us to leave it off when it's like that. But
yeah.
it looks absolutely frigid outside. But yesterday it was just this like doom and gloom. It got
Oh,
me
like
it got
it
me
was.
thinking about sorry, just while we talking about that, I'm just going to put a little pair of socks on while we talk.
Oh, okay.
I'm not telling you.
I thought this was a show and tell episode or something.
Got me thinking. I think I read something online about this the other day. You know these towns in like Alaska or the Arctic Circle where it's dark for like months, like 4 months or something solid. The sun goes down, there's a sunset,
Yeah.
and then it doesn't come back for like, how long is it? Is it 4 months or 3 months?
I don't know if it's that long. I mean,
it is months.
It will. I think it will sort of, the sun will just about appear above the horizon for a lot of that, and then there might be a period of like 6 weeks or something when the sun just doesn't even make it above the horizon or something.
Yeah,
like that.
so I think there are places that have like nighttime for, I think it's about 2 months or 3 months solid, where the sun doesn't even, not even a sliver of it. Imagine what a good setting that would be for a vampire movie or a vampire book.
So
Because
uh-huh.
because the vampires, come out at night. So what would those towns, there wouldn't be enough humans to sustain a vampire population because they'd always...
that could be the plot of the movie. Like there's a mine. They set up a mining endeavor there, and they keep bringing in miners, and the families are told they're dying in mining accidents. Anyway, we're going off on a very, very niche tangent. Well, talking of vampire movies and settings of vampire movies, we just got back 2 nights ago. We got back from Paris, where we stayed across the road from Père Lachaise Cemetery, which would make a fantastic vampire movie setting. And do you want to tell our listeners and viewers why we're in Paris, in case they weren't already aware?
Well, Gay Paris. Well, we have been talking about it for 6 months, but we went to Paris to see Lady Gaga in concert at what used to be called the Bercy Arena. It is now renamed in the capitalist tradition of renaming.
Branded.
Yeah, it's that.
It's the Accor Arena. Is it? How do you say it? Accor? Accor.
Or Accor? I don't know.
Accor.
So Gaga was doing like 4 sold-out nights in Paris, and it was the only concert that we could get a ticket to because the London and Manchester shows sold out so quickly. Is it strange that she could have done 10 nights at the O2 in London and she only did 3? Why Why was she limiting the number of dates she was doing?
Well, I think the tickets went on sale just around the time that the album was released, and so maybe they couldn't quite gauge what the reaction to the album would be, and so
But
they thought they would
surely they would
undersell it
know.
rather than oversell it, sort of thing.
Surely
Um,
they would know some of her magnitude and standing in pop culture would
maybe,
sell more than 3 nights in London.
maybe, or maybe they just wanted to sort of dip their toe and test the waters, and because there was a rumor, isn't there, that she's going to come back and tour and do stadium shows in Europe next summer. So, which I live in hope for.
Yeah, because when we saw her in 22 or whatever year it was on the Chromatica tour,
At the
she
Tottenham Stadium show,
yeah, and I
yeah.
mean, so that's probably about 80,000 people, and she did 2 sold out nights there.
Yeah, I'd say more like, yeah, 50 to 60,000. But
You think?
yeah. Didn't we? I think we've done it. I think we've had this conversation on the
Have
podcast before,
have we
and I
done the
think you
numbers?
did some live research and
Have we
checked,
crunched the numbers?
crunched the numbers.
Let me have
Um,
a look.
but I mean, we went to Paris to see Gaga, but that's not the only reason to go to Paris, of course. We need to talk about all the incredible French patisserie, the vegan patisserie that's available in Paris. Um,
Oh, yeah, the food, it's 62,850.
okay, thank you.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, the patisseries in Paris are next level.
Mhm.
Obviously, like, if you're not vegan, you'd have a field day as well,
Mhm.
but it is really, incredible that people who've grown up with the tradition of French cuisine have made it their business to make vegan versions that are just as good
Mhm.
and
And
just
in
as
London
impressive.
now, you can get obviously you can get vegan croissants everywhere. You can get vegan pain au chocolat, I think, in a lot of places in London now. But the eclairs. I mean, I couldn't have a lot of it because a lot of it's got gluten in it. But um, the eclairs, the I don't know, the madeleines, like all the little like the very French things that you just don't really see in the UK. It was so lovely to have such an incredible choice of vegan desserts.
But also what's nice about it is because it's such a run of the mill product, like having a croissant or a pain au chocolat or a what was I calling it? A French stick, a baguette. The prices of those things, even the vegan versions, are so much cheaper in Paris than
Mm,
they are in London. So how
yeah.
much would a vegan pain au chocolat cost here
Um, I don't know. I
in
mean,
London?
I would guess around £4.
Yeah. And so there they were like €1.50
Yeah,
or a
yeah,
croissant was €1.20. So it
yeah.
was like less than half the price of
Hmm.
what we pay here because it's just what people are used to and what they demand. It's their daily staples.
Mm,
It's like the equivalent of us going to Greg's, I suppose, and getting a
yeah.
cheap pasty or something. But
But
um,
there was one patisserie place in particular which I think sort of stood out above the rest. It's called VG Patisserie,
how would you
and
pronounce that in French, though?
VG. I don't know. VG. I can't remember my letters in French. And it's on, what's the name of that
Voltaire.
road? Voltaire. Yeah. Boulevard Voltaire, and it's just incredible. I mean, yeah, we discovered they do a hot chocolate there, which you can have the chantilly cream on top, and it's like a meal in itself. It's just so delicious. But yeah, just the other stuff like the flan they do there. They do like a classic vanilla flan, a chocolate
Yeah.
flan, and it was embarrassing because I think we went in there every single day that we were in Paris, and by
Oh,
the
yeah.
end of it,
Sometimes more than once.
yeah, by the end of the trip, they actually like were giving us free things to take on the Eurostar, like free broken bits of flan that they couldn't sell. So yeah,
We were so hysterical from how cold and tired we were because when you go somewhere on as a tourist, you want to make the most of it. You want to get out, you want to see the sights, you want to walk around. But the weather wasn't really conducive to that. The temperature was low
it was
and
at or around freezing a lot of
yeah,
the time.
like it's 0, but the weather app would say feels like -4. And
Hmm.
so we would be walking around for like 8 hours like sightseeing in and out of shops or cafes. And it was also for some of that quite wet as well.
Mm. Mhm.
If not raining, damp. I mean,
Mhm.
the last day it was really raining. And it is just like exhausting and tiring. And we started to get a little bit loopy, I think, by the end of it. And because we'd been in the patisserie, sorry, I feel like I've got a bit of a cold from exposure to the Parisian weather, Sue.
Mm.
But by the end of it, we were starting to, I suppose, play word games around the word flan
Oh yeah, we were
bec-
becoming somewhat hysterical, weren't we?
because we were so obsessed with these flans that they were selling at the patisserie.
Mhm.
And so it started by me saying Flangelina Jolie.
Mhm.
And then that was it for the next few hours. We were trying to think of word association games and song titles that we could swap
Mm.
out a word for the word flan. I think
Mm.
my favorite was when I was singing the REM song. Did you believe that there's a flan in the moon?
Yeah, yeah, that was all right. Yeah. Anyway, there were some good ones,
Well,
but
what was your
we,
favorite?
my favorite maybe was "Stand by Your Flan."
Or,
Um,
I mean, I don't support Michael Jackson for obvious reasons, but I'm looking. Look,
I'm
is it
talking
this?
about the
I'm
flan in
talking
the mirror.
the flan in the mirror.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah, that was a good one. But yeah,
and then well,
the
what?
go
Fuck
on,
you! Oh no, just the flan of it all. So,
the flan
um,
of it all.
but
Yeah.
I mean, haven't mentioned this because the VG patisserie was so spectacular. But I also have to give 10 out of 10 to the chain of cafes called
Mm,
Land and Monkey
mm,
or Land and Monkeys. Is it plural?
Plural. I
Or
think it's plural. Land and monkeys.
it is such an incredible eatery. It's a patisserie and boulangerie, which is a bakery. And the sandwiches, the food, the savory food's incredible. Their cakes are incredible.
Mhm.
And it's a really nice setting as well.
Mhm. Yeah.
I believe they're a franchise, so they maybe have about 9 locations around Paris.
Mm.
And
Yeah. I actually
yeah,
brought a loaf of. They do a lot incredible gluten-free bread, and I brought a loaf of it back with me. I just had it for breakfast this morning.
but the embarrassing part of all this is I'm such a tourist and like so ignorant, such an English speaking ignorant pig. Well, poor pigs. I shouldn't bring pigs into it. It's not their fault.
Mm.
But walking into a patisserie or like VG patisserie or Land and Monkeys, and not even in French saying, "Can I speak English?" or "Do you speak English?" Just in English saying, "Is it okay if I order in English?"
Mhm.
And the person just going, "Yeah, okay." Last time I was there, last year or the beginning of the year when I was in Paris, and I said that to somebody, they said, "Well, do I have a choice?" and just shrugged. And I was like, "No, that's all I can speak."
I mean, most places are completely fine with it. Um, but France and Paris in particular used to have a real reputation when I was growing up that you could not speak English there. Like they would just like ignore you if you tried to speak English. It's not like that anymore. I think for good reasons or bad reasons, I think globalization and consumerism has sort of dictated that people just accept that they need to speak English.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like I tried to speak French wherever I could, but my French is so rusty. And it's annoying because I only ever go to France now for very short, 3-day, 4-day trips. And by the fourth day I'm feeling a lot more confident, and then of course it's time to come back. But I'd like to go to France and spend maybe, 10 days there so I could actually maybe start using my French a bit more. Um, but now it's so difficult because I speak Spanish a lot more. If I don't know the word in French without even consciously doing it, I just fill in the blank with a Spanish word. And so,
Yeah.
like, what comes
Yeah.
out is just this jumbled, like, garbage Euro. What was that language that was invented?
E
Esperanto.
Esperanto. Well,
Yeah.
I'm similar, but my Spanish is so terrible that I even then mispronounce things in Spanish while I should be speaking French. But I'll say, gracias to people in Paris. I'll
Hmm.
say, con permiso. when I'm trying
Hmm.
to get through a crowd. But I suppose that's fine. I mean, most people probably understand a bit of Spanish as well.
Well, yeah, yeah. They might think you're a Spanish tourist, not a Australian/British tourist.
What did you think of that vegan place where we had lunch on the last day?
Oh, I love it. I love the food there. It's really
How do you
tasty.
pronounce the name?
Aujourd'hui demain, like today,
O-
tomorrow.
Oja
Aujourd'hui demain,
Aujourd'hui demain.
sort of. Yeah.
I just can't say it. It's
Or
not.
aujourd'hui demain. Anyway, it's a little vegan cafe and shop, and I mean they had an incredible selection of food, like stuff I've never seen before.
Like
But
vegan groceries.
yeah, not the cheapest place, particularly like the sort of clothing and accessories and stuff like that, candles. But the food there is delicious.
What did you eat?
I had the same as you. I had that breakfast plate. It was like pancakes with scrambled tofu, a vegan sausage, vegan bacon, potatoes, maple syrup, salad,
Hmm.
and I'm sure I'm missing something else. I
And
can't
what
remember.
did Hill ordered the
Hale
mac
and
and
Anna had
cheese
mac and cheese, and we all shared some nachos as well. It's got like a slight, very slight Mexican twist on it. The
or
food there, you
Tex-Mex
know, they
kind of?
do, yeah, they do nachos and quesadillas and stuff like that.
And you also had the gluten-free garlic bread.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Was
Yeah,
that okay or?
it was okay. It wasn't, you know, I've had it there before, and it wasn't as good as the last one. They used a different gluten-free bread this time, and it
Yeah.
wasn't as good, but it was still delicious. Um,
What apart from food? I mean, we've spoken about. Oh, well, we also went to the vegan donut shop.
I
Um,
didn't have anything there, but yeah.
the donuts were incredible, like
Mm.
of a high quality.
What was
So
that
we
called?
had
Bone shaker? Bone
Bone
shaker?
Shaker. So Bone
Yeah.
Shaker donuts. Do how do you say it? Douijaman?
Aujourd'hui demain.
I can't say that. So we went there for vegan brunch, plus the
Hmm.
shopping, the groceries. We went to VG Patisserie for flan and hot chocolate with chantilly cream.
Land and monkeys.
Land of Monkeys, they're incredible cookies. They're incredible
And oh my god,
cakes.
we've got to tell that hilarious story about the Thai place. So there's a chain of Thai
Oh, no.
restaurants, and one of them is all 100% vegan. One branch, Kapunka, I think it's
Mhm,
called Kapunka.
mhm.
Um, but we didn't have a reservation, and there were four of us. It was Sean and Hill, it was me, and our friend Anna, who'd all gone together to Paris. And there were four of us. I suppose it was a Saturday night, wasn't it? And so we didn't have reservations, and we thought, well, we'll try. We went, and we were told, oh, you know, there's nothing now. If you come back in, maybe it was like 45 minutes or an hour.
It was like an
Um,
hour, yeah.
so we kind of walked around and traipsed around in the cold, wet weather.
It was
We were
bru
hungry and cold. We really
it
wanted.
was brutally, brutally cold.
And then when we got back to the restaurant, we came back about 45 minutes later, and we could see a couple of tables were finishing. But then a woman who had been eating in the restaurant came out. Did she come out for a cigarette? I don't know why she came out and
No,
stood
she came
outside.
out because she said it was too hot inside and she
Oh, that's
needed to
right.
get some fresh air.
And and we were saying to her, "How's the food?" And she was saying, "Oh, it's okay." Um,
Well, she was swinging between it's okay to it's not great.
yeah.
And we were like, "Really?" Well, like,
So after
why?
like, you know, this anticipation of nearly an hour at this point of like walking around in the cold waiting for this Thai food, because we all love Thai food, and like, you know, three of us really like spicy stuff, and we were all really excited. But then this woman just really like sort of dashed our hopes, broke our spirits,
And
because
so when we said to her, "Well, look, well, how unsatisfying was it? Like, would you come back here again?" And she said, "Probably not." And we were like, "This what an odd thing to say to people who are waiting to get into a restaurant."
and then we were like, oh my god, after all of this like waiting around, should we even go in? Like we were second guessing ourselves. Anyway,
Yeah.
we ignored her advice. She did say to us, "Don't order this thing," and I think it was the first. I can't remember what it was. Was it yellow curry? Anyway, she said, "Don't order that," so we didn't. But everything we ordered, Nate, was delicious.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah,
don't
like,
know.
It was very so we honestly thought it was going to be just boring or substandard based on her reaction,
Mm,
and we were, like, all pretty much blown away. I mean, the pad thai that I had was one of the best pad thais I've ever had anywhere,
yeah,
and the, tom yam soup was incredible flavor.
yeah, yeah.
What did
Uh,
you have?
we had the red curry, which was delicious. Um, then we had the summer rolls, which I really loved. I thought it was
I
great.
they're the one thing if I had to pick a fault with it, the summer rolls to me were just average. They
Really?
weren't
No,
whereas
I
everything
like
else
them.
was above average.
Okay. But yeah, so it was kind of good in a way because after with the anticipation of waiting an hour and then our hopes being dashed by that woman, to then be surprised with really delicious food, it was very nice. And they had vegan wine, which was nice as well. So yeah, I loved it. I would go back. So I may, that
I would
woman may never
definitely
go
go
back,
back.
but I would definitely go back.
Yeah, I would definitely go
Everything
back.
was completely vegan and gluten free, which is it's my mecca. So.
Okay, so we've done Bone Shaker, VG Patisserie, Landed Monkeys, the
Oh,
one
what
that I
was that
can't
burger
pronounce.
place? Aujourd'hui demain.
Oh,
What was
oh,
the
je
burger
lui demande,
place?
Kapunka. It was called Green Farmers.
That's right. Yeah.
And so Green Farmers, we were only there 4 days. How have we eaten in like 7 places?
We ate a lot of food, Sue.
So
But
Green
that's
Farmers
what do you
is
do in Paris, Sue?
well, especially when it's that cold. Like normally I would have been out walking all
Mm.
day, like walking through the cemetery, walking through the parks.
In hindsight, I really didn't bring appropriate clothing. Like
No.
I brought two pairs of trainers, and of course, like trainers are not good when it's cold and wet because they're not waterproof. They don't provide much insulation, and so yeah, I could have brought probably maybe some
Well,
better
there was that
clothes.
day where we were walking to the mosque. What was the
Mm.
mosque we went to?
It's
What is it?
yeah, it's a little tea house and hammam just
Well, I
near
wouldn't even say it
the
was little. It was quite
well,
big.
yeah, near the Jardin des
But
Plantes. Like
is the mosque still an operational mosque?
I don't think so. No, I think it's like it was built as a sort of tea house.
Oh, okay. But it
It's
was
really
very
lovely.
beautiful inside, super
Yeah,
hot and toasty and warm because we'd been outside,
yeah.
um,
We didn't
freezing
eat there though. We had some
tea.
hot tea. They did have they had vegan tagines on the menu, I think.
Oh, did
But
they?
yeah,
What's tagine? Like
tagines, when
soup.
it's like a hot pot stew
Oh.
in the tagine, Moroccan tagine dish.
But on the
Um,
way there, we were so cold
mm,
that we had to go into Lidl so Hill could buy like a fleece to like
hmm
zip up hoodie jacket thing to put on under his coat.
hmm
But he's now quite unwell. Like he's got a cold,
No.
like a not like a flu, but a cold. Like he's all
Yeah, I'm
like
not surprised. I
congested.
mean, Hill, like you, me, and Anna, obviously we're a little bit older than Hill, but like we did a lot of like lazing around and sort of kikiing in the hotel and stuff like that. Hill was like a trooper. Hill would like get up at like 8 o'clock every morning and go to museums and galleries, whereas we would just
Yeah.
roll out of bed and like shuffle along to the patisserie to eat more
It's our
treats.
it's our white entitlement, so white privilege.
Mm,
Well, I mean, especially for you and Anna, you grew up going to Paris all the time and to
yeah,
France. So to
yeah,
you, it's not as special. Whereas I think for Hill, having grown up in Mexico, it's still very novel. Even
yeah,
though he's been a couple of times now to Paris, it's still exciting and novel.
yeah.
But so is that all of the places we ate and drank? Was
Well,
that
we didn't talk much about the burger place,
oh,
Green
so Green
Farmers. Is that what it's called?
Green Farmers,
Green
it's now a
Farmers.
chain of they have I think 2 in Paris, 1 in Cannes, 1 in another city in Paris that I can't remember or pronounce, and 1 in Amsterdam. So I think they've got 5 locations,
Mm-hmm.
and they're a franchise model. And so the guy who started it, who is the CEO, made a lot of money by running a franchise system of these vape shops in Paris. And it's a company called Jwell, like Jwell, It's all around the world, but he runs the French version of it, and he had over
Is it
300
like,
locations.
yeah, would you say jewel? Like, is it a play on the word jewel?
It could
Like,
be, but there's no first E, so it's
yeah, like
Jwell.
Jaywell.
Jwell, Jwell, Jewel.
So he
And
he made his money through vapes then.
well, I don't think that's he. I think he had other businesses as well, but
Okay.
that's like, and he's still the CEO and founder of that, and that's got over 300 locations, and he must have made a fortune from that. And so now he's running this vegan franchise burger place. I so I'm not 100%, well, not even 1% into the vaping side of his business. I mean, I find that quite problematic. But of course, I'm happy that he's now investing time and money into spreading vegan food around. But I am a little bit worried about the model isn't that dynamic or exciting with what he's trying to do with the burger place.
Yeah,
Do you know, like,
I wasn't blown away. And I mean, I wasn't that keen on going in the first place when you messaged me. Anna and I were out. Anna and I, just as an aside, we did go to another place, the name of which I can't remember, something and the moon, or I don't know. And it was very like, it was a vegan sort of cafe, but it was very like healthy. Like we should have
uh,
known really, like they didn't have any refined sugar. They had a lot of juices. Um, the hot chocolate had, like chaga mushrooms in it or something.
oh, no,
And we had a piece of cake which was actually disgusting. I didn't eat it. It was olive oil and orange blossom cake, and it
it
was
just
just
sounds
revolting.
rotten.
Anyway, so we were cold and we'd been out walking around. We'd been to the Arc de Triomphe and the Eiffel Tower and stuff. And then you messaged and said, "Do you want to meet me and Hill for dinner at this burger place?" And I was like, "Oh, vegan burgers, whatever." Like, it's, Beyond Burgers are nice and I have them occasionally at home. But like when you eat them out in a restaurant and you're paying like, €12 for a Beyond Burger, it's just a bit like, why? And also when you're in Paris, why would you do it? But it said on the menu, Anna and I were ready for a drink at this point, and it said on the menu that they had wine. So we got there like 5 minutes before you arrived, and of course we said, well, let's wait for them to order food, but let's have a bottle of wine. And he was like, oh, we don't have wine. So from the get go, my impression of the place was somewhat tainted by the fact that they advertised wine and they didn't have any. And I was
Well,
like,
they didn't. They didn't have a few of our first choices. Like,
yeah.
they were advertising tempura nuggets. They didn't have them.
Yeah. I was
Hill
like, how
asked
can you
for,
not have wine in a French restaurant? So I was very
yeah,
disappointed.
and Hill asked for, it was a green curry, and they didn't have it.
Oh
And
yeah,
then there was one other thing we asked for, and they didn't have as well. And I was like, well, that just, it just felt a little not the most professional, or you wouldn't go into McDonald's or something and them not have everything that was
yeah.
advertised. And
And
this was 4 or
also,
5 things they didn't have.
I just also think, and also I just also think, um, that just basing a vegan restaurant around burgers and
Mhm.
you know that sort of model, like that sort of vegan version of McDonald's model, is so tired now. You know, I just it was fun when it first started, but I really think it's peaked and it's over now. Like I think you've got to be more inventive with vegan food, and I also question whether, if somebody really wants to run a vegan food business, what is providing that doesn't really shift the perspective for non-vegans much, does it?
But
Like
also,
vegan.
like, other people have tried these models and they don't seem to have been super
No.
successful
So
or have a lot
why?
of longevity. So, like,
Yeah.
Hank Burger in Paris, so in the same city, Hank
Oh.
Burger had got up to a couple of locations, and
Mm.
I don't even know if they exist anymore. I don't even,
And
it
then
might still be there.
in the UK, we had Neat Burger, which was a
Well, that
chain
was,
which was
it was
owned
all
by
around. It was also, yeah, it was also in the US and
was it?
somewhere else in Europe. Yeah,
And that
they
was
have one
owned
in
by Lewis Hamilton, the race car F1 driver.
yeah, and
And
I
that
mean
was
they had a
successful for quite a few years. They expanded, but now they're all gone, completely gone.
but
And
I don't know if it was successful. I think they managed
well,
through it. They kept it open.
It always,
Um,
every time I would go into a branch, it was busy. So in that sense, it was. But whether it was, financially stable and had longevity, probably not by the looks of things.
I think, the problem with those sorts of restaurants, those fast casual restaurants, I mean, it happened with By Chloe, and I mean, there's so many others. You have to be like a Starbucks or a McDonald's for it to be profitable. You have to sell so many units, so much product
Mm,
that you might only be making a few pennies profit on each item, but because you're
yeah,
doing it en masse. So
yeah,
if you've only got 5 locations, you're not getting enough of the product out there to generate enough revenue to pay for it. So you have
yeah.
to
If
be like Starbucks. Some of their places, I think, run at a loss or break even
yeah,
just to keep that market hold.
yeah, but also, or the other model, which I think is always much better, is if when it's a real passion project. So it's not necessarily about making much profit. Maybe it's enough to pay yourself enough to live. But people who just love creating inventive, delicious vegan food, and that's
Mm.
more interesting to me. Like I kind of, in hindsight, I wish I'd skipped that burger place. Not that the food was bad, but it was just, you can get vegan burgers and fries in pretty much, any city in the world now.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, you're right, Sue.
I'm 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 doing this thing. I've got my adapter and I keep
Uh,
playing with it and I dropped it.
he's
So
stimming, Sue, stimming.
I am stimming for Britain. Uh, did you so overall, well, we haven't even talked about Gaga, but overall,
No,
what
no.
did you think about Paris as a city on this trip? Did you have any different feelings about it?
I love Paris, and I spent a lot of time there as a child. Like my parents used to work in Paris every summer, up until the age of about, I don't know, like 9 or 10, I think. And
Mm.
so I would go at least once a year, spend quite a long time there. And it does, I do have that sense of familiarity with it, even if it might be years between visits. I do still feel every time I go a sense of familiarity with it. I wish my French was better, but I can sort of get by, I think, and especially these days where everyone seems to speak English anyway.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's a beautiful, beautiful city. I will say, Sue, that I felt there's still a bit of attitude, I think, towards tourists, and I don't know if was imagining it, but I don't think I was. I do still feel like a bit of hostility on the metro, particularly, um, from the Parisians. Um, I don't
But don't
know.
you
It's
think
hard
that's
to
everywhere? Like, I mean, when
maybe.
I'm in central London and a group of tourists are in my way, I act annoyed. And I wouldn't yell at them or say anything, but I have feelings of resentment that they're in my way. And I think that's just a human response. And if you go to Barcelona
I mean, it's the
or
same in New York
Paris,
City. New York City is
yeah,
exactly the same. Yeah.
yeah.
Like people have actually shouted at me in New York City for being
What
a
for?
tourist because I had a bag with me on the L, and someone was like mouthing off at me, and it's just like
Like a
I've gotten on.
like a
I've
suitcase or
No, it's like a big army bag, and I've gotten on or tried to get on crowded Piccadilly line trains coming from Heathrow before, and it's just been packed with suitcases, and I'm just like, ugh, annoyed, but I wouldn't like shout at someone or even comment to anyone. But anyway, it's just
you save that for your road rage when you're behind the wheels, Sue.
so
Oh, can I just would that remind me of our last episode where we were talking about road rage, but do you remember we talked about Edwina Curry?
yes,
And I was saying to you, what was she famous for? And you were like salmonella and eggs. And
yeah,
I was like, I'm sure she had an affair. And you were
oh
like, I have
yeah,
no
yeah,
memory of that. And
yeah.
then I read that, yeah, most famously, she had a 4-year affair with John Major. And that was like the biggest thing about
Oh
her.
yeah, that's
And I
right,
can't believe we couldn't remember that.
that's
It's like
right.
the biggest political scandal of the last 40
How
years, whatever.
how quickly we move on and forget Sue.
Well, there's so many
Well,
other
anyway,
inept,
let's I'm gonna say let's talk about Gaga.
right. Well, First of all, I must preface this by saying Gaga is, fabulous. Like the artist of our generation, the pop artist of our generation. She's an incredible performer. She performs at a much higher level than most other people perform. She has like an absolutely stunning back catalogue and current catalogue of pop songs that most people would cut their arm off for, or their left tit. It is so, she's such a phenomenal force in pop culture.
Hmm.
I was so annoyed at that concert for so many reasons, not really anything to do with her. Well, nothing to do with her. She was lovely and wonderful and talented.
Mm.
I couldn't see anything. Like,
Hmm.
I think the stage design, on
Yeah,
reflection, I was thinking about it this morning. It was too low.
yeah,
Like, when at the Chromatica Ball, when we went to see her, the stage was really high.
yeah.
And I mean,
And
you weren't on the floor for that, but I was on the floor and I could see every single thing that was
also,
happening.
also for the Chromatica tour ball, from the Chromatica ball, she had a pop-up stage like two-thirds of the way along the arena or stadium
Yeah.
floor, and that she would move from the main stage to that. And
But with
so,
this show, she also had that B stage at the end of the catwalk, but
yeah,
it
but
was
it
so
wasn't that far
low.
back. It didn't
It, w-
come as far back as the one in the Chromatica ball did.
but it was so
Um,
low down to the ground
yeah,
that
yeah.
I had
I
to stand on
watched
tippy toes to see
I
her on
watched
the
about
stage.
95% of that I watched on the screen
Yeah,
because I
and
had
that was
no
really
view of
really
Gaga directly.
that was very disappointing to me. But like most things in the world, the main problem were the other humans that were there. Like
Mhm,
I was so pushed to the limit of what I was able to put up with people.
mhm.
I almost left because there were people being so antisocial, so pushing, talking, people who don't seem to be there for the show,
But don't you
who have
find
got
that in all gigs now?
yes,
You
yeah,
seem to just have this contingent of people who bought a ticket so that they can say they've gone, or maybe so that they can post something on social media that they were there, but then have absolutely no interest or investment in the show or the artist or the artistry.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
So, I mean, I was just messaging Derek, our friend Derek, who lives in Brisbane, and we're planning to go see Gaga in Brisbane in a few weeks. And I was saying, oh, she's amazing, but people are awful. And he said, yeah, he can barely go to gigs anymore because of, and he thinks maybe around COVID time, people forgot how to act in public or something. Like,
I think it predates it. I think it's to do with mobile phones. Um, because I remember pre-COVID, even people just becoming so. Do you remember there was that time we went to see Martin Rossiter, and there were people in the row in front of us who were like texting. They were sat, they were in the same group of people, but sat maybe three or four people in between. And during the
yeah,
show, they were like texting each other.
yes, the whole show,
And
the
yeah,
entire show.
and it's like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just fuck off? If you're not enjoying it, you don't want to be there, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like,
And
yeah,
like talking about Gaga's stage being low, I'm not really sure why the decision was made to make it that low. I mean, even the main stage was low.
yeah. And
And
there were a couple of songs she did up on like this gigantic
yeah,
dress, or in this opera house set, but most of it
like up that
was,
spiral staircase.
yeah, most of
But
it was on the stage level, which was too low
it
for
would
us to see.
it it would have been fine if people didn't put their phones in the air to film. I could see when everybody there was some weird bits where maybe she was doing a ballad or she was talking and everyone put their phones down. I could
Mm,
see. Like I
mm,
could see her right there on that stage in front of me.
mm,
Like, just above people's heads. But I would say 90% of the time, most of the crowd had their phones up filming
yeah.
and I could not see. All I could see was people's phones and their hands.
Yeah. And that's
And
it.
I
Like,
was,
phones take you out of the moment. There was one
yeah,
person about, 2, 3 meters ahead of us who FaceTimed their friend or whoever it was, I don't know, boyfriend, husband, friend, cousin, whatever,
Gym teacher.
for the entire concert. And so they've got their phone up, pointing at the stage, and I've got the fucking thumbs up popping up on my screen again. They've got their phone up, and my gammy hand, but that's not for here. They've got their phone up, but of course, anyone behind them, all they can see is this guy wrapped up in fucking his duvet at home, just like
Yeah.
watching. And it's just like, fucking hell, like.
So you imagine that, right? So between me and the stage, there were like 4,000 people. Like maybe even if a third of them had their phone up, all I
That's
could
all
see
you can
was a
see.
sea of phones and arms. That's it.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
would sometimes get glimpses of Gaga in between
Yeah.
somebody's hand and somebody else's phone. For like half a second, I would see her walking across the stage.
Yeah.
And I was so enraged.
Where
And
are you sitting, standing for the Brisbane gig?
on the floor, but it's a stadium and I'm not sure. The problem is also we got to this gig what I consider to be late. For a general admission show, you really need to get there like 2 hours before.
Yeah.
And we only
Yeah.
got there about half an hour before she came on stage. We were never going to be close with that sort of timekeeping. If we had gotten there even half an hour or 45 minutes earlier, we probably would have seen a lot more of it. We would have had
Yeah.
less arms up in front of us at least.
Yeah.
So,
But then weirdly, I got to that Chapel Roan gig in London last year, was it? Only about half an hour before she came on stage, and I was at the front. I got to the front. It was
yeah, but
so
that's like
different.
that was like a fraction of the people as well.
I
Like,
suppose, yeah.
I mean, this Gaga thing was like, is it like 30 or 40,000? Like it's a huge place. I mean, it was
Yeah.
way more than 20,000 people. And I mean,
Oh,
that
yeah.
Chapel Roan thing would have been a couple of thousand.
Yeah.
So this is different. And like when I went to see Pulp at the O2, it was the same thing. I could not see. And so we went and stood way at the back of the floor. So even though we were further away, I could see everything unencumbered. And maybe that's what we should have done at Gaga. We should maybe have just walked to the back.
Yeah.
And at least then we would have had a direct sight line across the top of everybody.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I
because
do think it was like a bit of a design flaw in the stage, or maybe it was particular to that venue. Maybe it's different in other venues, but yeah, it wasn't. It's a shame because I think it's probably objectively, like taking my personal experience out of it, I think it's the best show that Gaga's ever done from what I saw on the screen. But it was probably one of the worst shows from a personal perspective in terms of not seeing, well, hardly seeing anything or anything of it. And even when you watch it on the screen, you really don't get a sense of the choreography and the staging of the show in its entirety because you're just seeing small sections. So yeah, like it was
but
a bittersweet thing.
these queens next to me, like drunk or off their faces on drugs, whatever, screaming, but not even like all just in a circle facing each other and half of them with their backs to the stage and just almost like they were in a bar, like they could have been anywhere. They didn't care. And they wouldn't look up. They weren't doing anything. They were just drunk. They were bumping into everybody, like pushing really hard, but not pushing to get to the front, excited to see Gaga. Just dancing in such an antisocial manner that they were taking up more space. Like everyone had to move away from them.
Yeah.
And it's so selfish, this selfish behavior. I was surprised by the amount of younger people there as well. Like people who look about 19 or 20, because Gaga has been out for like 16 or 17 years. That I thought there'd be more. I mean, there were a lot of people our age and older, but there was a huge proportion of people who were young. And when she said, "Oh, who's seen me before?" and half the crowd cheered, and then she said, "Who is this your first time?" and the other half of the crowd cheered. I was
Yeah,
like,
like put
"That's
their hands up.
weird to me."
It was very, very high number of people who'd not seen Gaga before, which was surprising. But this album really has just given her career a whole new lease of life, I think.
Yeah. Did you see like her song Judas just passed 1 billion streams on Spotify?
No,
And it's
really.
the first song from the Born This Way album to pass 1 billion streams.
Mm,
Not even Born This Way has.
yeah.
And um, it's like when it came out, it was kind of deemed as a bit of a flop single, like, oh, it's like Gaga falling off a bit. And now it's turned out to be like one of her biggest, she's only had 9 songs go past 1 billion streams, and that's one of them.
Mm.
Um, just pivot away from Gaga for a second. Did you see which celebrity died this week?
No, I don't think so. Did I?
Do you remember Udo Kier?
No, yeah.
Yeah, he passed away. He was 81 years old.
I
Oh,
actually thought
nothing
he was
like
already
him.
dead. Is that bad?
How?
I
Why?
don't know.
Why would you
In
think
my
that?
head, I thought he died. But I
So
don't
he
know
was born
when.
in 1944. So that was like when did he was born on the 14th of October, 1944. When did World War II end? It was in 1944, right?
Uh, wasn't it 45?
Was it? Let me just click on this and see.
I thought it was 45. I thought it was like spring, Northern Hemisphere
Oh
spring
yeah.
of 45.
So it was the 1st of September 39
Yeah.
to the 2nd of September 45.
Oh, September. Okay.
So so he was born about a year before the end of the war, and he was
Where was
born
he
in
born?
Cologne. In
Cologne.
Cologne.
Okay.
How did the German people pronounce it? Cologne?
Köln. Köln.
Cool.
Köln. I don't know. It's
And
Koln, but it's O with an umlaut, so it's Köln. Köln. I
oh,
don't know.
okay.
Probably
So
butchering
the
that.
the hospital the hospital where he was born was bombed by the Allies in World War II,
Hmm.
just after he was born. And him and his mother had to be dug out of the rubble. But
Jeez.
he is such a fascinating person. He's been in over 220 movies,
Wow.
and he was also had a very big career over the last few decades of doing voiceover work, a lot for computer games.
No, really? Okay.
And uh,
I'm trying to think
he
what I've seen him in.
oh, you are going to know everything.
He was
Okay,
he did some work with David Lynch, didn't he? Didn't he do wasn't he in Fire Walk with Me?
I don't remember him being in
Am I
that, but
imagining that?
I'll have a look. He was in a lot of Lars von Trier movies.
Oh yeah,
I think he
yeah.
was even in Melancholia.
Yeah,
Like
he was.
he was in My Own Private Idaho
Oh
with
yeah. Yeah.
River Phoenix and Keanu Reeves.
Keanu. Yeah.
So to me, like Udo Kier
Wasn't
is such a staple of my queer pop culture landscape. He is in so much. I mean, you're
wasn't
going
he
to
in
know
that
this as
Madonna
soon as
video? Wasn't he in
he
the
was in 2
Madonna?
Madonna videos.
Yeah.
He was in Deeper and Deeper and Erotica.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he was all in the sex book as well. There were photos of him in the sex book.
No,
So
yeah.
he was in that whole sort of era of Madonna's. Now I'm going to tell you something he was in, and you're going to kick yourself that you can't remember that he was in it.
Yeah.
He was in Barbed Wire.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He played Curly in Barbed Wire. He was
Okay.
like her right-hand man, ran the bar and everything. And then when she left at the end of the movie, Barbed Wire left. This is played by Pamela Anderson. She left him the bar to look
Mm-hmm.
after, to own. But he sort of started getting known on this sort of cult scene when he was in these like Andy Warhol projects
Mm.
and Paul Morrissey projects like Flesh for Frankenstein and Blood for Dracula, these sort of softcore camp things. But he was in, let me tell you something else that you might know. Well, obviously, My Own Private Idaho. Did
Yeah.
you ever see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even
I
cowgirls
Oh,
get the
even cowgirls get
blues.
the blues. I think because I just listened to that audiobook recently about the life and times of
Yeah,
Keith Haring, and I think they mentioned Udo Kier in that a couple of times because
yeah,
obviously
I
Keith
think they
came
did.
to Europe a lot, spent a lot of time in Paris and Germany. Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was very in with that sort of whole art crowd as well.
Well, he did like this whole art crowd thing, but he was also in these super mainstream movies as well. Like
Mm,
he was in, he had a cameo, not a cameo, but a small part in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, the
okay.
Jim Carrey movie. Obviously, Barbed Wire, which is one of my favorites, a classic, and he was also in the Do you remember Pamela Anderson had that series called VIP?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sort of detective sort of thing. Yeah, he was in like
Yeah.
2 episodes of that. He was in Dancer in the Dark with Björk, that Lars von Trier movie. Shadow of the Vampire. I mean, so many. When you look at his list of films, like Dogville,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
ah,
Well, that's the one with Nicole
like
Kidman, isn't it? Dogville.
yeah,
Um.
um,
Yeah. I've
uh,
forgotten he was in
I
that.
mean, it is like unbelievable how
So
many
was
things
he
he
in?
was in.
Was he in Fire Walk with Me, or am I completely imagining that?
No, he wasn't in that. He was in Melancholia. He was in,
Was he in? Hang on.
I don't think he was in any movies by or
With
projects
David
by
Lynch. Oh, okay.
by David Lynch.
Um. Hang on. It comes up as David Lynch. Uh, well, I don't know. This article saying Udo Kier wants to make a movie with David Lynch.
Yeah. He he
Um,
he did, like, 17 episodes of this animated Scooby-Doo thing as well. Like, he did so many voiceover, like, kids' cartoons, um, as well as adult animation and, video games. Um, like, I don't even know what this TV episode is, but it's Pitch Perfect Bumper in Berlin. He played a character in that for 2 episodes. It must have been like a TV version of Pitch Perfect.
right. Okay. Who
And
knows?
then he played adult Hitler in a 2023
What
TV movie.
What was his? If he was born during the Second World War in Berlin,
Yeah,
do you know anything about his family politics? Like,
I don't know any.
did
I
he
don't
ever
think
talk
that
about
says.
that?
No, I'm not that I know of. Like he at 19, he moved to London to study acting and English, and he worked as a waiter.
Hmm.
And then he also lived in Caen and Rome, and then he moved to New York City. I mean, it's just
Hmm.
such a fascinating life. But this in music videos, you mentioned he was in like those Madonna videos, Erotica and Deeper and Deeper. He
Hmm.
was also in other music videos. He was in another one you'll know and you'll probably remember, but he was in a Goo Goo Dolls, Supertramp, Korn, but he was in the music video for Let Me Blow Your Mind by Eve featuring Gwen Stefani.
Well, see, I don't remember him in that. How
Yeah,
funny.
they were in like a nightclub sort of setting, and he was there in a tuxedo, like pouring drinks and stuff. And I can remember when that came out,
Bizarre.
and I was like, "What the hell is Udo Kier doing in this?" What
It's
year do
very
you think Let Me Blow Your Mind came out?
2007.
2001.
One, really?
So can you believe that was only 9 years
Oh
after
yeah,
he was
because
in Erotica and
it,
Deeper and Deeper?
it was before Gwen had her solo album, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I was thinking Gwen solo, but then yeah, it was actually before Gwen had released solo stuff. So she did a few like collabs. She did that song with Moby, and she did that one with Prince. Um,
Well, the Prince one was titled as No Doubt.
oh,
It
okay, it
was
wasn't just her.
Prince featuring No Doubt.
Oh, okay.
Um, and she also didn't she do like one with Pharrell, like Drop It Like It's Hot?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
That was
Now,
before her solo album
now I
came out.
can now all I can hear is that drop your glasses, shake your asses, face
Mhm.
screwed up like you're having hot flashes. I'm gonna have to listen to that. Maybe I'll play the video in
What
memory of Udo.
what's Eve doing now? Didn't she get married
Yeah,
to
I
a
don't know.
billionaire?
Really.
I think she got married to a billionaire.
Hmm.
It's a nice career move. I wouldn't mind it. So I yeah, I really like Udo Kier. I liked him, but he died in Rancho Mirage. Is that in Palm Springs?
Sounds like
Like
it might be. Yeah.
he's lived in Palm Springs for like the last 15 years or so. So many old gays go to Palm Springs. What's the attraction? You've been there. What's the attraction of Palm Springs.
I mean, it's beautiful. It's it's surrounded by stunning landscapes, desert, mountains. It's close to LA. It's close to San Diego-ish. Um, and it's good. A lot of maybe generalization, but a lot of older people have like breathing issues and stuff, and the air there is very dry, which is good for a lot of conditions that older people might be susceptible to. So I think the air is a an attractive feature for people. But yeah, I think it's a nice chill place. I mean, it does get brutally hot in the summer, but I suppose most people have air conditioning there. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if I would ever live there, give if I had the choice. Um, I think it's a bit, I don't know. Like if I wanted to live in a desert climate, I think maybe somewhere like New Mexico might be a nicer place to be. But um,
But I suppose it's the proximity to other things, like you said, like Los Angeles or San Diego. It's
yeah,
nice to be a few hours drive away from things. Like, especially if
yeah,
you're an entertainer, you'd want to be like, if you got a job, you wouldn't want to have to travel. Like
yeah,
in an
yeah.
airplane, you can just get a transfer in a car or something to go to work in
Did
Hollywood.
Speaking of Palm Springs, did you get that email I sent you last night with those Jill Sobule videos?
Yeah,
Did you
yeah,
have
I
a chance
watched
to
one
look
of
at
them.
any of them?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
watched the performance of Underdog Victorious.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's amazing. I'll put
Yeah.
a link actually in the show notes. There's somebody is making a documentary film about Jill Sobule. So we talked about it several months ago when she died, but Jill Sobule was a queer folk pop rock singer. Very hard to sort of put her into one genre. Um, an American uh, singer, songwriter, and she died really tragically in a house fire earlier this year. And this person whose name I can't remember, but I'll put it in the show notes. They're making a film about her life, and they had already started doing that when she was still alive. And they've got hundreds and hundreds of hours of footage, and they're running a Kickstarter campaign. They're almost at their goal, and so even if you can only donate, $5, $10, I would love to see this film come to fruition and get a release.
Have
I
you
think
donated some money?
I have, yeah, yeah, and I think it would be a really lovely tribute to such an incredible person, incredible artist. Um, but yeah, those videos, I watched them last night and I shed a few tears because she was such a great performer and she had such a joy in her performance as well. It's like she got a thrill of performing her stuff as well, and that was sort of became apparent when you watched her. Um, and so yeah, it's really sad that she's not around anymore. But the
Yeah,
film would be a lovely tribute. But she had a
yeah.
song about
It's
Palm Springs. That's why I was thinking of it because she talks about driving from LA out to Palm Springs past the sort of the wind turbines and stuff like that.
I saw someone donated like $10,000 because there are different tiers to this crowdfunder that they're
Yeah,
doing.
that wasn't me.
And I don't know what the lowest amount was that you could do, but the highest was like 10,000. I was like, wow. Like,
Yeah,
and there was one person who had done it. Who knows? It could be the filmmaker themselves for all I know. I don't know, but um, yeah, I mean, poor Jill. It's so sad. But I I'm not quite at the point yet where I really want to sit down and listen to her music a lot. Like I watched one of those videos and I was just like, it's just too sad.
yeah,
And I don't know. Like I also still get that way sometimes when I listen to Prince. I'll
hmm
put Prince on and I find it quite depressing that
yeah,
that he's
yeah.
gone. It doesn't happen with everybody, like artists that have gone, but I suppose people that I've lived through being a fan of. Like if somebody died before I really like Karen Carpenter, like I don't seem to have that same emotional hurdle. But with
Yeah.
like Prince or Jill, I find it really hard to listen to their music.
Mm.
They've been such a big part of my life for so long, so many decades, and
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, who's who do you think would have that sort of impact on you again if they passed? Like who? I mean, we always talk about Dolly. Well, I mean, you'd think we wish Dolly in the ground by the way we talk about her death so much.
No,
But
I don't want a world where Dolly's not in it. Um, I don't know. It's
I think if Gaga died, I would be very upset because not only I would miss her contributions to the world. But I feel that it's been quite well documented about the struggles she's had with like
yeah.
mental health. And so if she died before me, I would feel very sad about that for her
Mm,
and her loved
mm,
ones.
yeah. I don't know. It's
It's
Gaga.
so morbid.
I know, it's such a morbid discussion. I don't know about Madonna because I don't listen to a lot of Madonna anymore, but you and I have been huge, huge fans in the past. But I don't listen to a lot of her music now, so I don't know if it would have the same impact that now that I'm not really a fan anymore, you know? Um,
I think it would have an impact on you in that it would feel seismic and that it would feel like a real moment in time.
hmm,
Maybe similarly to you might have felt some sort of emotion when Princess Diana died. Like you might not have given a shit about her or the royal family, but it would have felt like a seismic global event. And I think
like a
with
cultural
Madonna, that it
shift.
will be, yeah, it'll be like that with Madonna. And it
Hmm,
might make you feel certain ways about how you felt about her when you were younger. It might trigger
hmm,
memories and emotions. It's so weird we talk about Madonna now because yesterday I was trying to dry clothes by the radiator and I was moving my white wooden chairs, my dining room chairs, to put near the radiator to hang some clothes on. And I picked one up and I spun it around in my hand, and my brain instantly went, "Don't try to run, I can keep up with you." Like, open your heart, because she does the chair dance choreography.
from the Who's That Girl,
How?
yeah,
But in
tour.
the music video
Oh,
as
in the actual
well,
video,
like
right? Yeah.
the music video and the tour,
Mm,
like, it's so ingrained in my brain from those years of being a hyper Madonna fan that even just picking up a chair and turning it triggered a muscle memory or something in my brain that my brain started singing the song. And
hmm.
I was thinking, I that happens other times with Madonna too. Like sometimes when I'm walking upstairs, I think of the Papa Don't Preach music video
Oh
where
yeah,
she's walking up those cement stairs to the beat of the music,
yeah.
and I do that sometimes when I'm walking upstairs, not as much as I used to, but I used to do it every single time I walked up steps. I used to think
Mhm,
of
mhm.
that part of the song. Does that ever happen to you with other songs, or it doesn't have to be Madonna, but any artist that you think
I
and
don't
you?
know.
I mean,
Uh,
the chair thing for me
yeah,
yesterday was completely involuntary. Like I wasn't thinking about Madonna. It just I picked it up. The way I spun it around in my hand was just
hmm.
instantly made me think of that.
I don't know that I have, but now I'm maybe I'm gonna be more conscious of it. Maybe I will think of some things, but
I mean, you
um,
sometimes find yourself saying things that like are
yeah,
triggered, like,
like I still repeat a lot of the lines from Truth or Dare slash In Bed with Madonna.
yeah.
A lot of
Or
things that
like if I hear anybody say, "Oh, well, in theory, this works," I think of The Simpsons, where Homer
yeah,
goes, "Well, in theory, communism works, in theory."
yeah,
Like, every
yeah,
time, however many years ago, that was probably 30 years ago, that episode. Every
mm,
single time in my life when I hear that somebody say those 2 words, "in theory," my brain
mm,
thinks of Homer saying, "In theory, communism works."
mm,
So, it's so funny how something can be so embedded in us, and I was reading, a headline the other day, and of course I didn't dive too deep in, I just got the clickbait, but it was saying that people who listen to music regularly, like every day, have less incidence of dementia and Alzheimer's.
oh, is that
And that,
right? Okay.
and I think the study might be something to do with how it strengthens those neural pathways of memory because, you're listening to the music and you're remembering it, and like so similarly, like how I can pick up a chair and it
Mm,
triggers like a music memory in my brain and
mm,
my brain was singing the song. and that there was like a sizable percentage difference in people who never listened to music to people who listen to it regularly.
I mean, it sounds
So
like
and
pseudoscience, but that's still no reason not to listen to music every day. But it just sounds like like correlation does not equal causation.
well,
But
this also said about people who play instruments were less likely to. Right,
yeah,
and they said the difference was that it couldn't just be now and then you listen to music and play an instrument. It was like daily. It was like if you
hmm
listen to music daily, it does. But then it could be the other way around. It could be because I don't know, people who without dementia are more likely inclined to
that's what I mean.
listen
That's
to music.
exactly
I don't
like
know.
it's like like a glass of red wine a day will make you live longer, and it's just like I don't think there's any medical scientific evidence that supports that. It's just these things that it's like I don't know. It's just it's not that related, but it's like when people when COVID first happened and people were just coming up with all of this shit. Like I think one of them was like vitamin D or vitamin C. I don't know. And it was just like all of these things. It's like people just grasping at straws. And I used to say like it's like if I wore orange socks and I ran across a busy road every day and I didn't get hit by a car, I would say, oh, it's because I'm wearing orange socks. Whereas actually, no, like one day if I just kept doing that and kept wearing orange socks, one day I probably would get hit by a car. It's just completely
Maybe you
random
would
and people,
maybe
hmm,
you would get hit by a car because you were wearing orange socks. Like the person
possibly.
driving might have had like an unhinged hatred for orange, the color orange,
hmm And it's like,
or
people say, oh,
perform.
red cars. And again, I don't know if there's any scientific evidence to back this up, but like red cars are more likely to be involved in accidents. And I don't know if that's true or not. And if it
I
is
don't think that's
true,
true at all.
if it was true, if it could be proven statistically, proved statistically, proven. What's the correct form of prove there? If
I
one
know, but
could
now I'm
prove
thinking
that,
about
if one could,
sourdough. I'm thinking about sourdough bread now.
I'm thinking of nothing has been proved. Um, is that Pet Shop Boys album?
I don't
Nothing
know.
has been proved. Anyway, even if you could prove that red cars were statistically more likely to be in accidents, like, but what does that tell you? It could mean that red cars are more eye-catching and distracting on the road, or it could tell you that people who are attracted to the color red are worse drivers. I mean, like it's just nonsense. So I don't know.
Or
I
it
don't
could
know about.
be something to do. It could be something to do with color blindness, and people can't see red, and they drive into those cars.
Yeah, true, true. Um,
Or it could
anyway,
just be a complete coincidence.
yeah, yeah. That said, there's no reason everybody shouldn't be listening to Dolly Parton every day. So,
How
whether it
old?
stems off that Alzheimer's or not,
How old do you think is too old to try and learn an instrument? Do you think
there's no,
anybody could?
yeah, any age, any age, and I think
And
also,
if
go on.
if somebody had never played an instrument in their life, and they wanted to start to learn an instrument, which instrument would you recommend and why?
Well, I think first piece of advice: do the one you love, do the one that resonates with you, because you're going to be much more invested in doing that. Um, I don't know. It's hard because I think piano is in a lot of ways for me. It's very tactile. There's a visual. I don't know how the vocabulary to like explain it, but because I'd learned the piano growing up, when I taught myself guitar, I understood a lot more because I understood
Yeah.
scales, chords, keys, stuff like that. I think if I just picked up the guitar and didn't have any of that knowledge, it would have been a lot harder, perhaps. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I would have learned all of that on the guitar. Maybe I'd be a better guitarist actually if I didn't know the piano, because maybe I was
Do you
a bit lazy in my approach to the guitar because I was thinking of it through a a framework of the way a piano is approached. I don't know.
do
What,
you
are
have a
you thinking of
desire
learning
to
an
learn?
instrument?
No, I just thought like it's just an interesting topic to me, and we were talking about music, and there's people doing it. It's just, and it also ties back to my like not being able to learn languages. I wonder if I just wouldn't be able to learn to play an instrument, like if my brain doesn't work that way. Like I struggle so much with language. I wonder if I would
Mm.
struggle the same way with an instrument. Or with driving. Like I was, I've been considering trying to get a driver's license. And I wonder if some people's brains are just not wired to do certain types of, behaviors that are set on patterns and stuff. I don't know. But um, is there an instrument that you want to learn that you haven't, that you would consider branching into?
I'd love to learn the drums. I would love to play the drums, but it's not practical, if you
Yeah.
live in a shared space. I mean, I know you can get electronic drum kits and stuff like that, but I would love to be able to play the drums. I think it's so fun. It's a full body experience. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that would be fun.
Okay.
I'd love to. I messed around on the bass guitar, and I'd love to play the bass a bit better. Um, yeah, and I'd love
Well,
to.
maybe
I'd
I
love
should. Maybe
to go on.
I was just going to say maybe I should try and learn to play an instrument.
Yeah, yeah. Why not? Why not? See. Um, all right. Well, we should wrap up. And
Well, I
last
didn't get
week.
to talk about my favorite topic, which one of my favorite topics, which is Emmerdale. But we can talk about that next
Mm,
time.
So, no one wants to hear about Emmerdale. Um, I'm gonna make you do the spiel at the end because, like I did last week, because I'm so sick of saying it every time.
Well, there's no spiel really. It's just if you would like to follow us and get reminders about these episodes, and you're watching on YouTube, you can subscribe um, and like, and you can leave a comment. Every time you leave a comment, that helps us with the algorithm to reach other like-minded people, or people with nothing to do, or people looking for procrastination in their life. And you can do similar things on the other platforms wherever you're watching. So please do subscribe, like, rate us. It all helps. And there are links down below to things we've discussed or where you can find us on social media if you'd like to find out more about what we're up to, including things like supper clubs for charity, open mics for queer musicians. We've got a lot going on. And now we're also paying off big credit card debts for patisseries in Paris. So
Hmm.
um, that's what we're up
Yeah.
to. Anything else you'd like to add, Josh?
No, that's it. Just listen to Dolly every day. It might stave off dementia, it might not, but do it anyway, because Dolly is wonderful. And we'll be back in your feeds next week.
Bye.
Bye.